Hello and welcome to another video by Day Night Gaming. In this video we'll be taking Carpenter from level 61 to 70 in the MMORPG known as Final Fantasy XIV. Now before we begin, there's some items that we need to purchase from the market board, and it's very important that these first two items must be purchased in high quality. So please purchase 1 high quality adamantite trident, 3 high quality birch lumber. After that you can purchase 1 cedar branch, 1 dark chestnut branch, 1 dark chestnut lumber, 3 growth formula epsilon, 1 holy cedar lumber, 2 mithrite ingot, 1 rainbow thread, and 1 wyvern leather. And for the rest of this list, if you do not intend to meld your gear as deeply as I have with materia, then it's recommended to purchase them in high quality. So please purchase 6 Abalathian mistletoe, 3 beech lumber, 12 growth formula edda, 6 kudzu cloth, 6 larch lumber, 12 pine lumber, 3 ruby cotton cloth, 6 steppy serge, 3 varnished, 6 worsted yarn, and 18 Zelkova lumber. So here we are in the city of Gridani at the Carpenters Guild. Now I'm going to show you the gear that I used in the previous video, and if you do not have this gear, don't worry about it. Just use the highest level gear that you have available, and you do not need to meld any materia into it because you're going to be doing crafts that are way under your level. Basically we're going to be doing level 50 recipes and as a level 61 carpenter, so just use whatever you have available and that's fine. But if you need to, you can eat high quality blood bowl based food and high quality cunning craftsman syrup to get your CP and your control stat up a bit. So here we are at Beaton the Guildmaster, and we're going to accept the level 50 job quest known as Lance of a Lifetime. So we're going to go ahead and accept that now. After that we're going to teleport to Foundation, basically the city of Ishgard. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. And once we arrive, we're then going to take the Aetheryte telepoint and we're going to head to the Forgotten Knight. So go ahead and click the Aethernet, and there we go, the Forgotten Knight, top of the list. Once we get there, we're going to head due east into the Congregation of Our Knights Temple, and we're going to speak to the Veteran Temple Knight. After that, now you can see over here that he's next to the broom. Now normally we will take the broom Aetherite telepoint, but due to our location, instead we're gonna head out these doors and then head due south into Cloud9 Tavern. We're gonna jump down 2 flights of stairs. After we exit these double doors, we're gonna jump down again some more, all the way to the bottom level. And there we are, we're going to speak to Bartholomew. After that, we're going to complete the quest. And then we're going to speak to Bartholomew again, and we're going to accept the level 53 job quest known as A Hunting We Will Go. Now we're going to have to craft a high quality holy cedar composite bow. Now it must be high quality to complete the quest. Okay, so here we go. If you need to, you can use high quality materials to make it easier, but I don't think you will. So pretty much all normal quality should work. Okay, now be very careful. Even though we do have muscle memory as of opener action, we don't want to use it because these are way under our level. So instead we're going to start off with Inner Quiet, then we're going to follow up with Waste Not 2. Then we're going to work on our quality. So we're going to do Basic Touch, Standard Touch, Basic Touch, Standard Touch, Innovation, Basic Touch, Standard Touch. And then from there, we're going to do Great Strides, and then Byrogot's Blessing to complete our quality bar. After that, we're going to do Veneration, and depending on what your craftsmanship is, 2 to 3 basic synthesis should complete the craft. And there we go. We have a high quality holy cedar composite bow. Alright, so now that we've crafted that, we're gonna speak to Bartholomew again and hand over our newly crafted high quality holy cedar composite bow. From there, we're gonna head due west toward the Aetheryte telepoint and take the Sky Steel Manufactory telepoint. So as you can see here, we're gonna go to the Sky Steel Manufactory, and once we arrive, we're then gonna head due southwest and then speak to Philippolius on top of this bridge. After that, we're gonna head back to the Aetheryte telepoint and take the Broom Aetheryte telepoint. Once we get there, we're gonna head due east and speak to Bartholomew again. Now please keep this in mind that we're gonna be heading back to this location quite often. Alright, so now that we've done that, we're gonna speak to Bartholomew again and accept the level 55 job quest known as Ministers of Grace Defend Him. So now we're going to head back due west to the Aetheryte telepoint, and we're going to take the Ishgard Aetheryte Plaza telepoint. And once we arrive there, we're going to head due northeast around this little wagon and speak to the Orthodox monastic. Now we're going to have to craft a high quality dark chestnut rod. So at this point in time, you can use muscle memory because we're starting to get closer to the level that we are for this craft. So go ahead and do that now, and that should bring the progress bar up pretty high, but it shouldn't get to the top. From there, we're going to use Inner Quiet, followed by Waste Not 2, and then after that, we're going to work on our quality bar. So we're going to do Basic Touch, Standard Touch, Basic Touch, Standard Touch, Basic Touch, Standard Touch, Basic Touch, and then Standard Touch. And by this point in time, our Waste Not 2 stack should be emptied out. So we're then going to do Innovation, followed by Great Strides, and then Byregot's Blessing to complete our quality bar. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. And after you've done that, we're going to end the craft by using Veneration and then Basic Synthesis to complete our progress bar. Alright, and there we go. We've crafted a high quality dark chestnut rod. So now we're going to turn this into the Orthodox monastic. So we're going to go ahead and hand that over now. And after that, we're going to head back to the Broom by taking the Aetheryte telepoint. And then we're going to speak to Bartholomew once we get there. So here we go, Aetheryte telepoint to the Broom. Then we're going to head due east back to Bartholomew to complete the quest. After that, we're going to speak to Bartholomew again and accept the level 58 job quest known as The Sun Also Rises. So we're going to go ahead and accept that now. And from here, we're going to head back due west to the Aetheryte telepoint, and we're going to take the Sky Steel Manufactory telepoint. So here we go, Aethernet shard, and then we're going to head to the Sky Steel Manufactory. And once we get there, we're going to head due south, but you want to go downstairs. So after we do that, you'll see Philippolius, and we're going to speak to them now. And now we're going to teleport to Gridania, and we're going to head to the Carpenter's Guild. So we're going to teleport to New Gridania, as you can see here. And once we get there, we're going to head into the Carpenter's Guild, because we're going to have to speak to Beaton the Guildmaster. So we're going to head due west to the Carpenter's Guild, through the double doors, up the steps, and speak to Beaton the Guildmaster. Now, after that, we're going to teleport to Corthor Central Highlands, and we're going to head to Camp Dragonhead. So we're going to scroll down our teleport list to Corthor Central Highlands. And then, of course, once we teleport in, feel free to equip your riding mount. Now, if you do not have a flying mount, I do recommend being on a high-level battle job, because your crafter has very low HP, and can easily die from any of the monsters that you're going to encounter. But if you have a flying mount, then it's okay. Just fly over the castle walls and head due south towards the Skyfire locks. And then once you get there, on top of this hill is a stone house, and that's where we're gonna go. And then we're gonna speak to Raya Tolan. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. After that, we're gonna head back to Foundation, or the city of Ishgard, and we're gonna take the Foundation telepoint. Now, as you can see here, we're not gonna actually craft these birch lumber. Just buy the high quality versions because they're basically the same price. It's probably cheaper than to actually craft it yourself. So just buy the high quality birch lumber, and that was at the start of the video. So once we get there, we're gonna take the Aetheryte telepoint to the broom. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. And we're gonna head due east and speak to Bartholomew and turn in those 3 high quality birch lumber that we purchased at the beginning of the video to complete the quest. So here we go. We're gonna hand over. And then go ahead and pick whatever material reward you want. I prefer to grab command material whenever I see it in the reward box, but that's up to you. Now we're going to speak to Bartholomew again, except the level 60 job quest known as More Fierce Than Fire. Now normally we would need the Master Carpenter 3 book, but we're just going to avoid doing that for now, and we're going to use the high quality adamantite trident that we purchased earlier in the video. So now we're going to take the Korthorys Western Highlands teleport, which goes to Falcon's Nest. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. And once we get there, we're going to mount up onto our mount. And if you do not have a flying mount, just like before, I recommend using a battle job. That way you don't aggro any monsters on the way. But if you do have a flying mount, just go ahead and feel free to fly all the way up northwest to the location that we got to go to, which should be the Convictory. And we're going to speak to the Shivering Knight. So yeah, as you can see here, we're just going to fly over there. And once we get there, we're going to speak to the Shivering Knight. And then after that, we're going to head back to Foundation at the city of Ishgard. So we're going to go and teleport there now. And just like before, once we get there, we're going to take the Aetheryte telepoint to the broom. And then we're going to head due east to speak to Bartholomew. So here we are. Go ahead and speak to Bartholomew now. And then hand over the key item. After that, we're going to speak to Bartholomew again and hand over our high quality adamantite trident that we purchased earlier. Remember, it needs to be high quality, so if you're not able to turn it in, make sure to check the quality of it. Then we're going to head to the Aetheryte shard, and we're going to take the Aetheryte telepoint to the Skysteel Manufactory. And once again, we're going to head south downstairs, and we're going to speak to Philippolius again. Now after that, we're going to have to teleport again to the Korthorys Western Highlands and head to the Falcon's Nest. And once again, just like before, if you do not have a flying mount, then it's recommended to be on a high level battle job. So we're going to go ahead and mount up now. And then we're going to go ahead and fly due northeast. But we're going to head a bit north above the Convictory. So So here we go, we're flying toward our destination. And yeah, like I said before, it's a little bit north up from where the Shivering Night was. And like I said, make sure if you do not have a flying mount that you're on a high level battle job, because there's a lot of monsters in this path that will aggro. A lot of them are above level 50, probably upwards of 55, and they'll basically one-shot any crafter that goes by. Now once you head towards the destination, once you get near it, it will automatically bring you into a cutscene. So here we go. Look for a flying green dragon or a drake, and yeah, head toward both of you and it will automatically pull you into a cutscene. After that, speak to both of you, and now mount up again, and we're gonna have to head due east. So go ahead and fly there. If you don't have a flying mount, once again, you should definitely load up a high level battle class, because there's a lot of high level monsters on the way there. But if you have a flying mount, it'll make things much easier to fly over this mountain range. So we're gonna pass this frozen windmill, and there's a frozen cottage, and we're gonna fly beyond the frozen cottage over there, and then above this little cliff, that's where the graveyard is. That's where we're gonna speak to both of you to complete the quest. Alright, so now as you can see here, we're level 63, which is perfect. And we're gonna now teleport to the city of Kugane. And from here, we're gonna use Lev quests to get to level 70. So once we get to Kugane, we just have to go a little bit northwest toward the Umeneko tea house, which is only a few steps. And we're going to stand in between Caltrang and Chantine. Now I'm going to show you the gear that I used. Now you do not need to meld your gear as deeply as I have with materia, but you must hit a minimum of 391 CP after all food and buffs have been applied. Now these crafts are extremely difficult, so I do recommend that you definitely eat high quality blood bullet based food, and if you need more CP, feel free to drink high quality cunning craftsman syrup. So I'm going to go ahead and do both of those now. Remember that there is a time delay in between activating both items, so make sure you eat your food, then wait a moment, and then drink your potion. So now we're going to speak to Caltrang, the Levmet, and accept the level 62 Lev quest known as Would That You Could. And this is going to have us crafting 3 high quality large bracelets. Now please keep in mind these rotations are a bit awkward to do, so make sure you're very careful and pressing the correct abilities. So we're going to start off with muscle memory, and that's going to give us a large portion of our progress bar. After that, we're going to activate inner quiet, and before our muscle memory charges runs out, we're then going to activate final appraisal, and then veneration, and then we're going to activate waste not 2, and then we're going to activate careful synthesis, which is going to give us a large portion of our progress bar. But don't worry about completing the craft, because final appraisal is going to protect us from overcrafting our progress bar. From there, we're going to work on our quality bar. So we're going to do basic touch, Then we're going to do standard touch, basic touch, standard touch, basic touch, standard touch, basic touch to use the last of our waste not 2 stacks, and then another standard touch. After that, we should have enough inner quiet stacks that we can go into innovation, followed by great strides, and then by our God's blessing. Now we still have 10 more durability left, so we can go into veneration and complete the progress bar with careful synthesis. And there we go, we have a high quality large bracelet. Now we have to craft 2 more, and we're going to be using the same rotation that we used earlier. So that's muscle memory, inner quiet, final appraisal, veneration, waste not 2, careful synthesis. Then we're going to work on our quality bar. So we're going to do basic touch, standard touch, basic touch, standard touch, basic touch, standard touch, basic touch to complete our waste not stacks, and then standard touch. Then innovation, great strides by our God's blessing, veneration, and completing the progress bar with careful synthesis. Alright, so now that we've crafted our 3 high quality large bracelets, we're gonna then turn them into Chantine. So we're gonna hand over the first one, yes, and complete. Then we're going to submit additional, hand over, yes, and complete. And then we're gonna submit additional again, hand over our third one, yes, and complete. And as you can see, we got a lot of EXP from that Lev quest. So now we're going to speak to Caltrain the Lev Med again, and this time we're going to grab the level 64 Lev quest known as Run Before They Walk. And this is a really good Lev quest as well, and it's going to be having us craft 3 high quality pine canes. So once again, if you do not have your gears melded deeply as I have, you can use high quality materials. And we're going to be using the same rotation that we used earlier. So it's going to be muscle memory, inner quiet, final appraisal, veneration, waste not 2, careful synthesis, basic touch, standard touch, basic touch, standard touch, basic touch, standard touch, basic touch, standard touch, basic touch to use our last waste not 2 stack, and then standard touch. Then innovation, great strides by our God's blessing, and then careful synthesis to complete the progress bar. And there we go, we've crafted high quality pine cane. And feel free to use the same rotation on the other 2 that we have to craft. So muscle memory, inner quiet, final appraisal, veneration, waste not 2, careful synthesis, basic touch, standard touch, basic touch, standard touch, basic touch, standard touch, basic touch to end our waste not 2 stacks. Then standard touch, innovation, great strides by our God's blessing to complete the quality bar, and then ending the progress bar with veneration and careful synthesis. Alright, so now that we've crafted our 3 high quality pine canes, we're going to turn them into Chantine. So we're going to hand over the first one, yes, and complete. Submit additional, yes. Hand over our second one, yes, and complete. And then submit additional again. hand over a third one, yes, and complete. So now we're going to speak to Caltrain the Leveling again, and we're actually going to accept the same Lev quest that we just did. So we're going to grab the level 64 Lev quest known as Run Before They Walk, and we're not going to do any level 64 Lev quest, even though we are level 66 at this time, because the level 64 one is just a lot better. So we're going to be doing the same rotation as before: Muscle Memory, Inner Quiet, Final Appraisal, Veneration, Waste Not 2, Careful Synthesis, Basic Touch, Standard Touch, Basic Touch, Standard Touch, Basic Touch, Standard Touch, Basic Touch to end off our Waste Not 2 stacks, and then Standard Touch, followed by Innovation, Great Strides, By Our God's Blessing to complete our quality bar, and then we're going to do Veneration and Careful Synthesis to complete our progress bar. And we're going to basically repeat this until we've crafted 3 high quality pine canes. Alright, so now that we've crafted our 3 high quality pine canes, we're going to turn them into Chantine. So we're going to hand over the first one, yes, and complete. Submit additional, yes. Hand over our second one, yes, and complete. And then submit additional again. Hand over our third one, yes, and complete. Alright, so now that we've leveled up to level 68, I'm going to show you the gear that I use for this final portion of the video. Now please keep in mind that you do not need to meld your gear as deeply as I have, and instead you can use high quality materials to supplement your quality bar. Now you'll notice that I only changed my main hand and my offhand weapon, and I'm still using the level 63 armor and accessories that we had at the start of the Lev quest portion of this video. You're still going to need at least 391 CP, just like before, because we're going to be using the same rotation that we used earlier. Once again, we only changed the main hand and the offhand weapon. Alright, so make sure that your food and buffs are still active. There's a big possibility that your potion has already deactivated, so make sure to check both of them. So now we're going to speak to Caltrain the Leveling, and we're going to grab the level 68 Lev quest known as With a Bow on Top. And this is going to have us crafting 3 high quality Zelkova longbows. And like I said, we're going to be using the same rotation that we've been using earlier. So we're going to do Muscle Memory as our opener, and then we're going to do Inner Quiet, followed by Final Appraisal, then Veneration, Waste Not 2, and then Careful Synthesis. Now please keep in mind, even though our progress bar didn't near max out this time around, the reason why we have Final Appraisal active is because when we level to 69, there is a high chance that we will get dangerously close to that max progress bar with how potent Careful Synthesis can be. So now we're going to work on our quality bar. So we're going to do Basic Touch, Standard Touch, Basic Touch, Standard Touch, Basic Touch, Standard Touch, Basic Touch to use up our last Waste Not 2 stack, then Standard Touch, then we're going to go into Innovation, followed by Great Strides, and then By Our God's Blessing to complete our quality bar. And now we're going to use Veneration into Careful Synthesis to complete our progress bar. And there we go, we've crafted a high quality Zelkova longbow. Now we're going to have to craft this 2 more times, so we're going to use the same rotation that we just used, and that's Muscle Memory, Inner Quiet, Final Appraisal, Veneration, Waste Not 2, Careful Synthesis, Basic Touch, Standard Touch, Basic Touch, Standard Touch, Basic Touch, Standard Touch, Basic Touch to use up our Waste Not 2 stacks, and then Standard Touch, followed by Innovation, Great Strides, By Our God's Blessing to complete our quality bar, then Veneration, and then Careful Synthesis to complete our progress. Alright, so now that we've crafted our 3 high quality Zelkova longbows, we're going to turn them into Chanteen. So here we go, we're going to hand over our first one. Yes, complete. Submit additional. Yes. Hand over our second one. Yes, and complete. And then we're going to submit additional again and hand over our third one. Yes, and complete. And as you can see, we're now level 69 and pretty much 55% into our level. So we're going to talk to Keltring the Levmet and accept the level 68 Lev quest known as With a Bow on Top. And we're basically going to be crafting 3 more high quality Zelkova longbows. And we're going to be doing the same rotation that we used earlier, which is Muscle Memory, Inner Quiet, Final Appraisal, Veneration, Waste Not 2, Careful Synthesis, Basic Touch, Standard Touch, Basic Touch, Standard Touch, Basic Touch, Standard Touch, Basic Touch to use up our last Waste Not 2 stack, then Standard Touch, Innovation, Great Strides, By God's Blessing, Veneration, and ending with Careful Synthesis. And after we've crafted our 3 high quality Zelkova longbows, we're then going to turn them into Chanteen, but most likely we will only need to turn in 1 to level up, maybe 2. And for the third one, definitely we probably won't be turning in because it's only going to give us 2,000 experience, which it's better to just sell these items on the market board because they do sell for quite a large amount of gil. Alright, so now we've crafted our 3 final high quality Zelkova longbows. We're going to hand over the first one, yes, and complete. And as you can see here, we leveled up to 70. So if we try to hand over a second one, it'll most likely say 3,000 experience times 2. So 6,000, that's going to give us like nothing. So I'm going to complete just so you can see what it looks like. Like nothing. So at this point, are you going to submit the third one? No, we're not. We're going to end the quest now. And go ahead and feel free to sell this on the market board for a pretty good amount of gil. Alright, and here we go, level 70. Bada bing, bada boom. Thank you, hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, consider hitting that thumbs up, hitting that subscribe button, and ringing that bell for future notifications on videos that I might be posting in the future. And in case you're interested in supporting the channel even more, I do have a merch website at streamlabs.com/DNGdangerous/merch. And until next time, take care, goodbye.